on to all my Scorpios. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. So for the Scorpios, let's see what the Scorpios are doing. For the Scorpios, we have the Three of Swords. We have the Page of Wands, the Hangman, the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Six of Cups, the Sun, the Five of Cups. This is for Scorpio, remember. The Queen of Swords, and last but not least, we have the Seven of Wands. Okay, so what I'm seeing here for Scorpios, okay, no major arcana so far that represents Scorpio, right, directly. But you do have the Three of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Hangman. That's very interesting. The Six of Pentacles, that's very interesting. A lot of you Scorpios are heartbroken. You're learning how to deal with that heartbreak, get over it. And we're gonna get deeper into it as to why. The Page of Wands, the Hangman, the Six of Pentacles, from left to right. Right, from here to here to here. This is about how you Scorpios don't want someone who's playing games with you, right? You also don't want someone who's looking at you like a charity case, right? Who looks down on you, right? Or down at you, who thinks of themselves as being better than you and stuck up, right? In that regard, right? Where they look at you and they think of you as a person that is kind of like a plaything, right? You Scorpios don't want to be with anybody who thinks that of you. And because you Scorpios have more self-worth than that, or at least you should have more self-worth than that, right? Maybe you were going through it with someone who thought that they were so much better than you, who looked down at you and thought, you know, they were basically giving you a shot, that you weren't necessarily worth it anyway in the first place, but they were to give you a try because you're not something that they're necessarily used to hanging out with. And needless to say, that backfired, right? What happened? You ended up dumping them, or the two of you ended up breaking up for whatever reason, or I should say whatever particular catalyst was it. But ultimately, the underlining reason is a lot of you Scorpios didn't want to be seen as a plaything. And then you have the Knight of Wands, right? The Knight of Wands is this person is having some sort of trouble really learning how to let go of that perception that they have of you, thinking that you're so much beneath them, right? And that you're not really worth the trouble of really them going back and apologizing. Yet the Six of Cups, right? We have the Six of Cups and the Sun card. Yet here we, right? And the Five of Cups. Here we go. They're somehow finding themselves back to you again, even though they had this perception as the Knight of Wands that they didn't know what it is that you was talking about, in the sense of you were tripping, you were the one acting out of pocket, you're so much lower than them. But why are they the ones coming back? The Sun and the Five of Cups represents, I will say this though, to some of you Scorpios will welcome them back with open arms. As you see this little one here with open arms on the horse, or the unicorn. Yeah, the horse. Not unicorn, the horse. Riding, right, all over the place, being excited. Some of y'all will welcome them back with open arms. Good luck, okay? Because what's to stop this person from taking that same approach with you? And some of you Scorpios will be happy. That's so mean. Some of you Scorpios will be happy at the fact that this person is coming back, and you Scorpios would be like, ha, I told you, you're lame. See, all that back talk that you had to give me. And why is it that you find your fancy self back here? Ha. And then the thing is that the Five of Cups represents this person is going to be mad right? For the Scorpios who don't take them back. This person is going to be mad because this person is going to be like, come on, forgive me. Don't act like that. Then you have the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands. The Queen of Swords, okay, and the Seven of Wands represents, you need to understand that this is a situation for you where, for you Scorpios who don't take them back, try not to really start wilding out with other people, okay? Because Scorpio, you know, the water signs are, you know, zodiac signs. The water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, y'all are zodiac signs that tend to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. And a lot of y'all need to understand that, right? Specifically with Scorpio, a lot of you Scorpios should understand that it's not necessarily about only your emotions. And what I mean by that is, yes, your feelings and all that and your emotions are important. But you're going to squander a lot more opportunities for yourself in the future is what I'm trying to say, okay? Because the Queen of Swords is not a card that is celebratory. The Queen of Swords is a card where it's an individual that pretty much so has a lot of power, but is, whether they know it or not, is misusing their power based upon the past discrepancy and the past folly that they are trying to make up for now and in the future. Simply put, they're trying to essentially make sure that whatever flaws that they made in the past doesn't necessarily happen in the future. And that necessarily isn't the best thing in the world to do, especially if you take an extreme take. And Scorpio is the zodiac sign of extremes. So you have to be very mindful of this Queen of Swords, okay? Because it's the sentiment that you should have of, just because this person did this to you does not mean that it's wisest for you to do that to everybody else who come to you. Because there will be people in the future who's coming to you, right? And you should be like this. The Seven of Wands instead of the Queen of Swords, right? Instead of you being like this, where you're super combative because you are overly attentive of what's going on and you don't want this type of scenario to play itself out again, where people treat you like trash, right? People treat you like garbage, because Scorpio also rules powerlessness, right? And why Scorpios look for so much power is because a lot of Scorpios don't like the sentiment or the thought of something else in control of their own destiny or what they want to do. And as a result of this, right, this is good. That mentality is good, but the way you go about it can also be detrimental to you. And the Seven of Wands represents this. This could be the better way, in a sense that by the time people in the future come talking to you, this is how it is that you should want. The Seven of Wands, where you're already hard at work, actually making the particular changes that you need to have made to make sure that you are more informed as to some more of the red flags of what it looks like when people are playing games with you, but you're not so trying to defend yourself to the point where, you know, you take an extreme approach and you're saying, sorry about that, you're saying you do things to people for no reason. So let's clarify the Seven of Wands. Right? Okay, let's clarify the Seven of Wands. Okay, I got my cards here. The Five of Wands. The Six of Wands. Okay, 5, 6. And then you have the Justice. Okay, so the Five of Wands is that, again, you could really handle this multiple ways, any way that you really want. But the Five of Wands is about conflicts. It's about fighting. So again, it's just furthermore backing up what it is I'm saying. You could either handle it from that regard where you're going at the person, okay? Or you can handle it in regard of the Six of Wands, where you give these upcoming people a fair try, and it's unprejudiced, right? But at the same time, you know what to look out for. And like I said before, it's quite easy. If people are playing games with you and, you know, they're inconsistent with you, it's time to take a step back. So the thing is that the Justice now represents, the Justice represents, obviously, it represents Libra, but the Justice is about you getting what needed to be done, right? Or what needed to happen, or what's principally right as opposed to what's moralistically, quote unquote, right? So what needed to have happened is you needed to have learned this lesson. For you, Scorpios, to step your own game up, okay? For you, Scorpios, to step your own game up, you needed to have learned this lesson. Why? Because sometimes Scorpio is too dark of a zodiac sign, too secretive of a zodiac sign, when they may not necessarily want people to get, you know, to interact with them. And if you Scorpios are going to be in a relationship, quite frankly, you're going to have to learn to get over that over secretiveness. Not saying that you can't be secretive, but you're supposed to be a little bit more open, right? Because that's how relationships move forward. But that's pretty much it, okay? Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe.